Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing a Dewalt 20 volt 7¼ inch miter saw. Initially when I got it home, I unboxed it, started cutting with it right away. Had to use it on a pretty large trim job, and I didn't want to bring out my miter saw, so I just brought this to the job site. It was super portable. It weighs 30 pounds. You can pick it up with one hand and still have another hand full of tools if you want to. I was able to do 6-inch baseboard with bullnose corners, which, you know, I was a little nervous at first having this tiny little chop saw, but once you get it dialed in and you get it exactly where you want it to be, it cuts super well. I didn't have any issues with it. Customer loved the end result of the job, got paid, and I moved on to the next one. It was a great addition to my tool supply. So let's dive into it, guys. This is the chop saw. On the top it has a handle and it has 2 handles on the side. It has a pretty solid capture lever for the detent ring. The detent ring has 11 positions, which is great. It goes through 45 to 22.5 to 30 degrees, and a couple of other ones. It has a 20 volt max battery. This does not take the large 60 flex volt batteries though, unfortunately, but it lasts for a while. The pin that holds the head down during transport is pretty solid. I haven't had it come out yet, and I hang it on the wall when I'm driving around. The dust collector, I think, holds probably about a pound of dust. If you're looking to have a sawdust-free workplace, you're gonna wanna hook up a vacuum to it because it will spray dust everywhere. I use my saw to cut aluminum and wood, and it does a great job on both of those. This blade on here is an aluminum cutting blade. I use it to cut tile, Schluter trim. Does a great job. This toggle allows you to change your bevel on it. It's a pretty smooth action. The black screw on the back, you have to really wrench down. It comes with its own wrench. On one side it has a Torx head, the other side is a Allen head. Allows you to adjust the detent ring, which is a great feature on it, similar to other chop saws. And it allows you to basically zero it out and get it right where you want for fine tuning. There's only 3 small little screws to do that, so it's a pretty simple process. It holds its zero pretty well. I don't have to do it a whole lot. In fact, I'm basically only doing it for this video to show you guys how simple it is. You just lock the head down and use your square to square it up to the blade. And once you have it where you want it, you just cinch the screws back down and it's ready to go. Now this saw did come with a clamp so that you can clamp down larger pieces of trim to do your bevel cuts when your board is flat, but I hardly ever use it. I don't really do a whole lot of large trim pieces on this saw. Changing the blade is pretty straightforward. It has a little screw underneath the guard. Like most saws, you just use the supplied wrench with the torque head side and just back it off until it goes over that little tab there. You slide it up and then you have access to your blade. And then this is a little capture lever that you have to push down and hold, and it allows you to back off the screw. Righty-loosey, lefty-tighty like every other saw. I did have a hard time getting the blade out and also back in. I'm sure if I took off more of the guard, it would probably be easier, but I didn't really feel like taking out more than just one screw for it. If you guys have any advice on how to get that out more easily, just leave a comment below and let me know how you guys do it. You can see I'm kind of trying to finagle it back in there. I have to almost bend it a little bit to get it in place, but it's not too bad. Putting the screw back on is pretty simple, it goes on quickly, but tightening this screw down takes, I think, longer than it should. I think it takes actually longer to tighten this down than it does to actually put the blade back on. Getting ready to cut some boards here. This is 3¼ inch finger joint pine trim. Even with an aluminum blade on it that has cut a lot of aluminum, it still goes through this pine board pretty well and makes a nice clean cut. Now, as far as battery life goes on this saw, I can use it all day long off of one charge, depending on how much cutting I'm doing. If I'm doing a larger trim job, then I'll have to maybe charge it a second time. But having a brand new blade on it is extremely helpful in preserving your battery life. Now, I did square my saw up in the beginning of the video using this speed square that I have also used as a hammer. You'll see in the video here, I'm actually going to take a file and file off the burrs, and then I'll have to go back and reset the 0 on it before I actually use it again. So another thing to keep in mind, probably shouldn't use your speed square as a hammer. If you do, make sure you file off the burrs before you use it to 0 out your saw. Anyways, moving on. Even with a crooked speed square, it still cuts a pretty sharp 90-degree angle. You can't really ask for too much better than that off of a small 7-inch battery-powered miter saw. So this trim here is about 3¼ inches wide. On a 45-degree angle on the left-hand side of the saw, it has no problems cutting this 3¼ inch trim piece, but on the right-hand side of the saw, on a 45-degree angle, it interferes with the motor on the right side. So if you need to cut anything taller than 2½ inches on a 45-degree angle, you're going to want to change your head to a 45-degree bevel and lay your trim down flat. Now this saw will cut a 2x4 flat without too much resistance. Keep in mind this is a dull aluminum blade, and so it actually is not cutting as well as it does with a brand new blade. But it will cut on a 45 and on a 90 just fine, which will help you do just about any kind of rough framing job that you could ask for. Now I'm going to make a quick 90-degree miter corner to illustrate the light that shines down the blade and show you just how accurate it is. It does a pretty good job at shining where it's going to cut. I've actually had lasers do worse jobs than this does. You can see me line it up there, and it is within a 1/16 of an inch of that light, so not too bad. Now I'm putting a little bit of super glue on one side of my corner, and then I'll spray the other side with alcohol and do a quick little 10-second hold on it to get it to set up. Let me know what you guys do to get your corners stuck together. I'm always looking for new products and techniques to marry my corners together. This is what I've found through a little bit of research that works pretty well. It's pretty fast, but if you have other products out there, then I would love to hear about them. And there you have it. A little wipe of the excess glue, and it is ready to go. So now I'm going to cut some tile trim. This piece is made by Custom. Lots of different companies make them. Whenever I cut these, I usually like to use a little 1-inch by 1-inch stick that I put down in the channel to kind of help give it support as the blade goes through it. But for this, I just wanted to kind of show you how it cuts through without it fairly well. Whenever I'm cutting these metal trim pieces, I always charge up my battery to a full charge, and I try to use a sharp blade whenever I can, and that really cuts down on the amount of blowouts that I have. They can be pretty alarming and also dangerous if that metal blade catches the aluminum in a wrong way. It can throw pieces of aluminum across the floor. I've had chunks of metal just jump off of the saw as they collide. So you definitely want to go through it slowly when you're making these cuts. But once you get it dialed in, the end results are pretty flawless. So whether you are a homeowner doing work on your own house, or you're a handyman and you have your own business, or you're a general contractor, there are a lot of beneficial uses you can get out of a saw like this. I have been using it, like I said, for a couple of years, and I'm going to continue to enjoy it for several years to come. It is a robust saw that I think I'll get lots of use out of. Now, Dewalt is not paying me for this review, just so that you're aware. I do have an Amazon affiliate link down in the description below that you can use to make this purchase. They send me a small percentage, but other than that, I'm making this review because I like this saw. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the content today, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I like to provide helpful tips and product reviews through my journey of being a general contractor. It's my goal to help people learn and grow in this industry, to be able to take on projects of their own, because I want to be able to share what I have learned over multiple decades of experience, because I feel like right now the prices of labor are sky high and can prohibit people from doing jobs. And I think if you just have a little bit of help, you can take on projects of your own. Okay? So stay tuned for the next video. I appreciate you guys. Take care.